So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I'm Emma from Growth Marketer Academy, and I'm really excited to host this session for you all today. We all know that the pandemic has changed the world a lot, especially in the digital field. So to help marketers learn how to achieve the best marketing result in this new normal, Growth Marketer Academy, also known as GMA, invited growth practitioners from different expertise from Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Malaysia to share their insightful strategies and tactics under COVID-19. This webinar series is titled The 2021 Marketing Playbook, Growth Strategies Since COVID-19. If you have been following us or our webinar series, you will know that in the past couple of weeks or months, we've covered topics such as agile marketing, B2B strategies, and SAP framework. Our speakers have offered incredible amounts of insights to our audience, and we will be exploring more in the future. Today, we are really honored to have Felix as our final speaker in this webinar series. As the topic suggests, he will be sharing how to build a tech product without code. I know you are all super excited about today's webinar, but first, let me spend some time introducing our housekeeping rules and agenda for today. We want this webinar to be as interactive as possible, so we want to know what you think and be able to answer your questions as well as help you deal with any technical problems you face during this webinar. So first, please take a closer look at your screen and find the chat box for me. In the chat box, feel free to use text, emojis to tell us your feedback and thoughts. If you have any technical problems, please also leave them here in the chat box so we can help you out. Now, everyone, please find the Q&A box for me. For questions related to our topics today, meaning the questions that you are directed to our speaker, Felix, please leave them in the Q&A box so Felix can answer them during his speech or in today's final Q&A section. So let's do a quick recap. For technical issues, general feedbacks, and comments, please leave them in the chat box. And for questions related to our talk that you wish to be answered by Felix, please leave them in the Q&A box. For today's webinar, we will have a roughly 40 minutes sharing brought by Felix, followed by a 20-minute talk with Tim, the founder of Growth Marketer Academy on NoCode, and a 20 minutes Q&A sections to answer all your questions. Also, we will share an exclusive giveaway with you at the end of today's webinar, and we are certain that it is very helpful and will help you a lot. So please stay tuned. This webinar is hosted by Growth Marketer Academy, GMA in short. GMA is the first growth marketing school in Asia. We started in Hong Kong, and we are now also have branches in Taiwan and Malaysia. Our vision is to help marketers who want to go into the marketing field and startup owners to become data-driven growth marketers and build a growth community in Asia. Currently, we have footprints in Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and the Philippines. If you are interested in growth marketing and want to have first-hand news on any marketing webinars or courses, please feel free to scan the QR code on the screen and join our community on Facebook. Growth experts and marketers will share their insights there. Felix is also there, and he often shares very insightful knowledge. So don't be shy to join the discussion with him if you see him there. Okay, and now is the moment you have all been waiting for. Let me introduce today's webinar. Let me introduce today's speaker, Felix. Felix is the marketing lead at CardUp, a fintech platform that allows payment or collection of big expenses using credit cards. Previously, he worked at the community management for Techstar and head of growth for Hub. who has built and scaled first side projects with NoCode. In 2015, he co-founded Cloudbreaker, an AI-powered marketing software designed to help brands to analyze and engage with influencers. Without further ado, Felix, I'm gonna pass you the mic.
Great, thank you so much. I didn't realize I'm the last speaker of the webinar series. You're definitely making me nervous. So hopefully we have a good moment for the series so far, and happy to close the session. So today, really excited to be here. Going to spend the next around 45 minutes to walk us through a couple of insights from how people manage to build technical projects without a single line of code. I'll be sharing some of my favorite resources where you can get started, build your first website, applications, or even a web app from scratch. I have handpicked a few real-life examples where people successfully built their technical products without code. We will try to spend some time to crack into some live demo as well to basically show you how powerful and possible it is by building an application from scratch. And I know this workshop is part of GMA, so obviously growth and marketing are the biggest topic where we often share a lot. So I'll also be sharing a few examples of how I leverage my knowledge in marketing and growth to take my side projects from 0 to 1. So hopefully you enjoy the sessions and do not hesitate to ask any questions. I would be really excited to address your question as well. I will be sharing a lot of tabs and demo and sharing my screens later on. So hopefully the connectivity is okay. If not, do not hesitate to let me know. I'm happy to pause and recap what have been mentioned just now. Great. Oh, I'm trying to navigate the slide, but it doesn't work. Yep, is my slide moving? I think so, right?
Yes.
All right, so again, here's the agenda for today. I will start talk about the definition of no-code, why we should build a product with no-code and how does it work basically. And before we finish the session, we will be sharing a bunch of resources and having a panel discussion with team to really deep dive into what are some other interesting topics around no-code as well. Oops. Is it just me? I'm trying to move the slide, but it doesn't really change immediately. Okay, so with no code, I think this topic have been immersed in the market, especially in the past 2 or 3 years with the help of pandemic. I hate to say that, but yes, a lot of people get layoffs or they have to be independent. So no code is definitely a community and entry to help people really illustrate their idea to start a business, even though they can build something with their computer at home. As long as their internet is connected, nothing is impossible. And when we say no code, we are talking about like software and tools where we can build a product, not only a website, not only an applications, but the entire journey of how a technical products actually operate. So no-code tools varies from so many perspectives. Later on, we will walk through some of the typical example as well. But in short, we usually categorize no-code tools into 3 major segments, such as tools to help you test prototype ideas, tools to help you build an actual business or products. And the beauty of all these no-code tools are actually basically helping you to ship your product faster and automate a lot of tasks we cannot really automate before, such as copying your data, avoiding mistakes, and basically connecting one tool to another. And no-code is definitely not a new concept these days. And if we are referring to examples of no-code tools to help people create websites, it's actually been around in the market for over 20 years. If we look into tools like WordPress, they actually started in 23. and some other typical examples such as Squarespace, Wix. They've been in the market for over 10 years. And most recently, more and more no-code tools are coming to this game is because the market is huge. So that's why there's a lot of competitions going on, but still every year you're basically seeing a new no-code tools emerge, and a lot of people are moving their tools, switching to one another, and just trying to beautify their products. So for that reason, which means the no-code community or the no-code ecosystem is still incomplete. That's why a lot of tools still manage to get a market share when there's a lot of options out there already. And try to think no code as Lego. When we think about building a no code product, building a product from scratch without a single line of code, your responsibility is to identify the right features, identify the right workflows, and figure out how you combine different no code tools in one place and eventually become a complete product. So here's my favorite no-code toolbox, basically. Just a few, not all actually. And there's 8 categories where I come across almost every day. So such as tools to help you build a website, tools to help you build a native mobile app, web app, marketplaces. Some tools help you convert spreadsheets or Airtable into applications. Some tools can help you integrate a payment system immediately without a single line of code, and you can start collecting money and manage the full entire subscription journey as well. Some tools also allow you to start and create a community where you can manage your members without code. And as I mentioned earlier, tools to help you automate your process and automations are really important. And last but not least, there's a lot of tools trying to capture small issues such as authentication, such as login, such as testimonials, such as the search and filter systems. And all these components are basically part of the success of no-code tools. I've been talking a lot of these categories. Why don't I share with you a few examples just to give an impressions? What are some of the products out there and where you can try? Let me share my screen. Okay. Are you able to see my screen right now? Okay. So if the screen is working properly, you should be seeing Bubble.io right now, where Bubble is one of the most famous no-code tool to help you build basically everything from mobile applications, web apps, platforms, or even the SaaS products without a single line of code. And the beauty of this product is there's a steep learning curve, a lot of resources in the market where you can learn and join a tutorial on YouTube, and you can basically just build your own product without code. A lot of people might argue what would be the destination of no-code. Can no-code tools go beyond prototype and eventually become an actual business? And the answer is always yes. It's a matter of how much time you dedicate to build your products and how sophisticated your workflow is behind. And my suggestions right here is you need to spend a good amount of time to compare all the functionality of different no-code tools. There's no golden rule of you must go to Bubble, not other tools, not WordPress or Squarespace. There's always something which is unique towards your use case. So when you look out for products, try to compare as much as possible. And a lot of tools, they offer free trials. So basically, you should have a good amount of time to get a basic understanding of how these no-code tools actually operate. Most of the no-code tools comes with a dashboard where you can drag and drop, connect with data, and combine different workflows, and eventually make your product as dynamic as possible. If you go deeper, you can see a lot of examples of how people actually leveraging tools like Bubble to build their actual business. And there's a lot of products actually empowering by Bubbles these days. And not a surprise, obviously, there's quite a lot of examples, products where they start with no code and eventually scale to a really massive company. People always are afraid of using no-code tools. It might be an obstacle because they're afraid they cannot raise capital or eventually scale to a large operations. And this is completely contradicts the idea of no-code. And you can see there's some examples right here. They managed to use completely with Bubble, no-code. Of course, they have technical team, but doesn't mean they cannot build a product without code. And the beauty is no matter you came from a technical or business background, you can basically just leverage no-code tool to make as much as modification you need without help from technical team. So Bubble is just one of the examples, not only. Let me show you another example before we move further into more case studies. So this is Paytable. So Paytable is a tool to help creators monetize their data. So such as database you have created on Airtable, on spreadsheets, on Notion, or even Coder. You can basically just monetize your research, monetize the data you have collected. And the beauty of Paytable is that you can implement in just a few minutes and you can start monetizing your spreadsheets with all the authentications and privacy control needed. So meaning that only people who pay for your service will be able to access your data only. And a lot of beginners, when they think about starting their first digital products, a lot of people actually start with information product, just like I mentioned, selling the information, selling their research, selling their data. And it's just really easy to start earning your very first dollar online. I have a few examples also coming from this space where I sell my research, my information, and it has been doing quite well by using tools like Paytable. Okay, let me go back. Yep. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, I have opened a lot of tabs, so it takes some time to transit from one screen to another. And by the way, any questions so far about no-code tools, the concept behind no-code, and do not hesitate to start a conversation, and later on we will pick up any questions at the end of the Q&A section. All right, back to my slide. So first thing first, why should we build products with no code? The answer is pretty simple: speed. And when we think about building products with no code tools, there's so many examples out there where you can achieve with just all no code tools. And some of the examples I'm listing right here, including you can basically build a product like job board, selling digital products, monetizing your directories like information where you can search and filter. You can also monetize digital templates, your service, your website. You can monetize a chatbot in just a few hours with all the no-code tools available out there. If you manage to spend a little bit more time, like building products in maybe a week, you can also build products such as a community site, e-commerce, tools for your internal operations, or even a marketplace such as business model similar to companies like Airbnb, HelloFresh, DoorDash, and you can completely achieve with tools like Bubble. And when you spend more time, like weeks, maybe you can build a complete SaaS product, software, or even a native mobile application as well. So later on, I will give you a few examples and some of the tools where you can really achieve all these possibilities right here. And as I mentioned earlier, NoCode is not only products where you create your prototype or mockup. You can build a complete business and products without a single line of code. And all these products built without code are completely scalable as well. So you don't really need to worry about when your company grow further, bigger, can you stay away from no-code tools? And the answer is totally possible to stick with what we started from the beginning. So right now, I'm going to show you 3 examples of tools where you can, or products and companies where they actually built without code. And the first example right here is Rastapati. And Rastapati is a company where they design for small families or maybe friends who live with their flatmates all together, where they want to arrange the cleaning schedule. It's pretty fun because they started at a really small tool and they built the whole software on Bubble. And right now they are monetizing this product on a subscription-based business model where they charge around $4 to $5 a month. So can you imagine by just solving a small problems like arranging your cleaning schedule with friends, with your families, and just to make sure your house is in a good shape, you can already create a SaaS product around this topic. And I've been mentioned a lot. All these products are completely built by people without any technical knowledge, and you can achieve a similar capacity as well. Another example I'm showing right here called Munifest. So Munifest is visualized meditation applications where the product provide a lot of content, videos, instructions to help people to stay in a good well. And this product is built with a no-code tool called Adelo. And Adelo is a software where you can build native mobile applications and eventually publish on app stores, Google Plays, and start getting downloads from the community. And they just started around 2 years ago, and right now they have over 30,000 users already. And this product is built by a designer. So a person really good at design, UX, and UI, and eventually managed to pull a complete native mobile applications without single line of code. And this is Hey Marketers. I think this is relatively relevant to most of our attendees right here today. And it is a job board designed for marketers. So right here, you can find a lot of jobs and opportunities around marketing, growth, content, writers as well. And this product is built with Webflow, again, without any code. The beauty of this product is you can search, filter, and basically this product facilitates the end-to-end journey of how job seekers find jobs, discover, apply, and recruiters also make use of this product to identify marketing talents as well. And funny enough is this product is built by marketers, where the person who understand a lot about how to distribute this platform, how to narrow down the jobs and offerings on this platform. So I highly recommend you take a look on all these amazing projects. If you miss anything, I'm happy to drop the link later on, so you can have a look as well. So right now, turn the table to myself. What about my no-code projects? So I actually started my first projects built without code around 2 years ago. Right now I have 4 projects on my belt, and because I have a full-time job, I only build my projects when I'm free in the evening or weekends. And most of my projects are semi-automated, meaning that the end-to-end journey of the sales cycles, automating my customers onboardings or managing their expectation. I can basically manage all the business operations on my mobile. So on the go, on my ride to the cities, I can just take my phone and manage all my business. Right now, all these projects are profitable, although I'm not making a huge fortunes, but they are contributing my coffee budgets, and I don't have to think twice whenever I need to get a new tech gadget. So let me show you the actual product and look and feel, so you get an understanding of what you can actually achieve when you first started with no code. So again, let me share my screen. It might take some time. Okay, are you able to see my screen? So, by the way, all my projects are built with a website builder called CARD.co. Highly recommend, because it first of all is completely affordable, and you only have to pay 19 US dollars for a year, and you can host up to 10 websites. And you can do the math. Every month you pay less than $2, and in total you host 10 websites. I'm only with 4 out of 10, so I still have a lot of quarters to optimize. But all in all, I like Card because it's really easy to learn and implement any website. Again, drag and drop, where you see what you get, and there's a lot of templates and tutorials on the internet where you can get access to this knowledge easily. So again, if you're looking out for alternatives or like simple website, one page, landing pages, highly recommend you give a Card a try. So here comes my very first local projects called Slice. Not a really rocket science business, but I have been selling presentation and pitch deck templates for years. And right here, you can see I have followed a lot of typical rule of thumbs of how people start a landing page with like hero sessions, with testimonials, image driven, and try to optimize my conversion right here. Of course, I've been showing how's the look and feel of my product looks like, and I just monetize and display my product in this way. So my objective of here showing you this product is not about wanting you to get a snippet of what I do, but to really see what you can build without code. So simple as a website, simple as building the payment gateway, everything. You don't really need to request any technical help. Another examples right here is called Ventures Lease. So because of my previous background in startup investments, I have aggregated a lot of knowledge of how to help people raise their capital, how to work with investors, and also understanding what is the investment offerings in the market. So I created this dynamic database where I sell all the information I have collected before. Right here, you can find resources and tools to help you prepare your investment strategies. I also help early stage founders understand what are the venture capitals available out there, what are the preference, and what do they usually invest. And this can be easily accessed in just a few clicks. Of course, a lot of contents will be distributed on this platform as well. So I'm monetizing at a $29 per lifetime access, and it's a good deal for many people. Right here, I'm showing my third project called Virtualmojito.com. So essentially, I started this project because I noticed there's a big gap, especially when the pandemic was a big hit. A lot of people are panic about they cannot attend any events anymore. They cannot host workshops anymore, like in real life experience. And when Zoom come into the market, there's a lot of people frustrated by the tools and experience of Zoom, because it's really hard to replicate the experience of how an events and workshop, just like what we're doing right now, a webinar. a lot of communities and companies, they need a unique feature to make the events or communities or remote teams successful. So I started an idea to walk around how we can educate the market, how to pick the right tool for the virtual engagements, how to find and discover opportunities and tools to make the events and things they want to put online more unique. So I created this dynamic searchable directory where people can just find the right online virtual events tool based on their use case, such as remote working, community networking, or even improve their productivity in just a few clicks. And I monetize this product based on advertisement. And because I also spend a lot of effort on building my subscribers on newsletters, and I'm charging around $150 per advertisement. So it's been doing pretty healthy because it's still a big topic where people always look around hacks and tips to build better virtual events. And lab.co. And it is also a project where I am dedicated most of my time right now. I started learning illustration design around a year ago. And right now I'm making avatars, helping people to customize the profile pictures, and they can just download copies and make the avatars dynamically without a single line of code as well. And lucky enough, my latest launch been ranking #1 on Product Hunt. So I'm getting a lot of tractions and buzz from the startups community nowadays. And later on, I'll walk you through some of my journey, how I plan ahead the whole marketing concept for this project in particular. Okay, let me go back to the main slides. Emmer, I need some help. I think we're not showing the slides right now.
I think it may take some time to load your screen.
Okay, great.
Okay, I can see it now.
Okay, great. Just to again answer Oliver questions, I would recommend to give Builder a try for both mobile applications, SaaS, and even Google Chrome plugin. And the operations and look and feel are very similar to Bubble. So I'm pretty sure anyone can learn from scratch pretty easy. So give it a try. All right. We'll add questions later when we're back. So something I really want to remind everyone when you think about building product without code, we often consider no code as an intersections between building product and design, and that's what makes no code beautiful. Because if you came from a business or marketing or any non-technical disciplines, you can get a lot of, receive a lot of benefits by using no-code tools, because no-code tools help you solve a lot of problems or maybe areas you don't really go into. But it doesn't mean that when you build a no-code tool, the no-code tool will not scale itself. You still have to spend a lot of effort to contribute towards your business, your marketing. So really important. So making sure you understand that. So as I mentioned, I'm showing you some examples how I think about the concept of my local products, how I manage my pre-launch, launch, and also my post-launch capacities. And I'll be using my no-code tool called Abstract Lab. I showed you the last one before to crack into the details. So I usually break down into 3 stages because there's a lot of content related among these stages. And as you can see on the screen, I am a heavy Twitter user. And Twitter is one of the biggest marketing channels that contribute most of my tractions and sales. When I plan ahead my launch campaign, I usually think about what are some of the possible channels where I can go into. When I think about channels, there's a strong correlation towards who exactly my customers is and whether they hang out on these channels, how often, whether they active on these channels, etc. And I will make sure all these channels have at least a good portion of my potential customers. When there's a channels I have identified, I will always make sure to create some content relevant to these channels. And right here, the thing you're seeing right now is the actual launch plan on Notions when I created my abstract lab product. So a quick recap on selecting your channels, making sure you categorize the type of your channels. Think about whether you want to contribute content or visual driven content. Think about the launch date and time. And because when I talk about launch date, I'm literally talking about like the 24 hours time span. So you can see I schedule and create as well as publishing my content almost every 30 minutes throughout the launch day. So meaning that I make use of the full 24 hours time span to create as much as traffic and awareness as possible. And it is really important because you're basically educating the internet or maybe Google to realize there's a new products coming in, a lot of traffic coming into these topics, and it has to be coming in a high frequency. So this is really important, especially you think about the period of your launch day. And always remind yourself, try to prepare unique content. There's a rule of thumb and mistakes out there where so there's a mistake out there where people expect when you create the same content where you can just copy and share and just distribute to many different channels and platforms. And this is completely wrong because you get penalized by platforms and channels such as forums, social medias, or even search easily. So making sure you have at least some of the uniqueness, making sure you change the link, making sure you change the tracking and so on and so forth. Otherwise, you get penalized and not getting the expected results as you can. And always think about ways to discover the performance of your content distribution, have at least some tracking links where you can find and segmentize the content performance easily. And later on, I will show you the example. So don't worry if you have no ideas what I'm talking about right here. So the other suggestion is when you think about sharing your no-code projects, a lot of people, especially in the indie hackers and solo entrepreneurs community, they like to see your progress. They enjoy seeing all the nitty-gritty of how you build your product. They enjoy seeing the actual results, not just talking. So here are some of the examples how I show my work on the internet and how I tell my potential users I'm not only building these things, but how I enjoy the process from start to finish. And I even do not afraid to share my progress or in terms of sometimes I distribute videos, sometimes I do a screen share of how the progress of building my product looks like. I don't really afraid people will steal my idea because ideas is cheap. And ideas without execution is nothing. And I don't think people can actually copy and replicate an idea straight away and build a fortune out there because every business is unique. All the needs and wants from a business is completely not the same as well. So you should build your own ways of distributing and executing your products and build your own ways of doing your marketing. So by doing so, people will appreciate your work and people will appreciate your honesty of what you share on the internet. And there's a lot of marketing effect you can generate by just sharing all this knowledge and insights. I even share my actual sales dashboard on what exactly I'm making from my marketing effort as well. And people will recognize and if they see a spike out there, product is trending, there's a higher likelihood of people will contribute and support your product as well. Yeah, again, show your progress, show your actual numbers. There is another concept, especially coming from the no-code and solo entrepreneurs community. We call it build in public, meaning that as I mentioned earlier, do not afraid to share your progress publicly. Do not afraid to talk about what tools you're using, how much you pay, what your expenses, what are some of the typical metrics you're getting out of it. And here is another examples of a social media post I published online to talk about what exactly I get from the first 72 hours since I launched one of my products before. So talking about your vanity metrics definitely helpful, but also really important is to educate your audience. What are the channels you've been using? Are they effective? What are some of the tools you have been building alongside your no-code projects and eventually generate a critical demand? All right, so another sections which I want to talk about is how does no-code tools actually work? And I would like to introduce a concept called input, process, and output. And not only no-code tools, but there's almost every technical projects or business or applications, they cannot stay away from these three pillars. So think about mobile application, there's always data contributing. Maybe we as a user of social media, we contribute content, we contribute messaging, we contribute videos, and we are basically just inputting data onto a platform. And the platform needs to process the data and eventually display into multiple forms. Could be images, could be a post, could be a feed, could be a timeline, could be a groups. And all these are basically just really based on what you input as a user. Then which means after the data processing, you need to think about how to display the data and information in a nice way. And that's how user experience, user interface, and design play a major role right here. So I'm using another example right here called contentwritingjobs.com. I think the company name speaks itself. What does this product actually do? I'm picking this example is because this is one of the most successful no-code projects and job boards I've been seeing in the market, where they do a really good job in marketing and also assembling different no-code tools to make the end-to-end business operation successful. And they're making a huge revenue by just making a no-code job board. So let me show you the actual website. Right here. Are you able to see contentwritingjobs.com right now? Okay, so I assume you are seeing this the same as myself. So you can see it right now. We are in the keyword section. So try to think about what you need to input the platform before you start, because input is first step, process is second, and last but not least, the outputs. What we're seeing right now is the output. But think about what you need to feed into the engines in order to populate information and data. And obviously, as a job board, you can't really scale without jobs. You can't really scale without job seekers. So right here, one of the most important call to action for them is to ask for writers and companies to publish opportunities, to ask for job seekers to submit their requests, to submit their preference so that they can create a match. And you can see right here, they immediately talk about the price, and just to try to let you know this service is promising. There's a lot of users behind these projects already, which create a strong effect of what testimonials and social proof actually works. So meaning that the first input right here is the information of writers, information of jobs from companies. And when you scroll down, you immediately see the output of how all the inputs eventually become jobs, where you can discover, search, filter based on type of jobs, based on categories, or based on location, etc. A lot of opportunities from many notable companies such as Pitch, such as Canva, such as GitHub, etc. And you can find a lot of opportunities right here. And again, here is another connections between input and output, which means newsletters, content, call for subscriptions. And the input is calling for email address, calling for customer data to join the newsletter, join their marketing funnels. And then reviews, testimonials is really important. And that's it for the website. And that's how content writing jobs actually operates. So let me go back to our slides and think about how we crack into these input process and output step. So when we talk about input, there is information collected from job seekers, recruiters, and there's a lot of information you need to process. Think about you might need to improve the quality of speakers or jobs. So meaning that there should be some workflows behind the approval process. You need to manage the payments if companies are advertising their jobs. You need to provide the right information and notify your subscribers. Okay, maybe there's a job good for you. So meaning that you might need a matching system as well. You need a notification system from emails, from applications, or sometimes from messages. And most importantly, all these processes are really empowered by a database to help people help the company behind connect job seekers and recruiters. So there's jobs where you can search, filter, and sort behind the database. And the output is pretty obvious, which is the jobs display and also testimonials from companies. So try to think about all these input output as function and features. What you need to translate into NoCode right here is think about what are some of the NoCode tools where you can eventually fulfill these disciplines. And without further ado, I have already prepared some examples of NoCode tools you can use to build a product like contentwritingjobs.com. So in terms of input, obviously you need to collect information, and it is really important to find the right forms or content input tools where you can eventually connect into a database. So this is a tool called Tolly. Okay. Tolly. So Tolly is a form builder where they allow a lot of integrations and automation behind. More and more people are moving to this tool, not only because you don't need to know any single line of code, but because a lot of angry customers from products like Typeform, SurveyMonkey, or even Google Form are moving to them because it's just really nice to build your form workflows. The whole experience is really intuitive, and the price plan is really aggressive as well. And most of the functionality and features you can achieve without paying a single dollar. So I would recommend you take a deeper look. We are not going to talk about anything further right here, but think about, okay, when you need somewhere to collect information, building a forms, think about tools like Tolly. Then once you collected all this information, you need a place to store your information. So perhaps you can try tools like Airtable. So Airtable, I think most of you might be familiar because they've been pretty useful in many capacity these days, where you can build a dynamic database, customize the look and view, and without affecting the data structure. And it is good because, again, Paytable allow a lot of integrations and automations alone itself. You can even send emails by Airtable. You can manage your data inputs onto your website easily. It seems like Airtable is not loading right now, but have a look when you have time. Other than that, I would suggest to, okay, Gumroad. So Gumroad is, I would say, is sitting in between payment platforms as well as the membership systems, where you can sell information and create a pricing table easily. And you don't have to pay a fee. They earn a cut from what you sell. So it's really genuine, especially for people who just get started, because I assume resources is always a concern. So having products where they charge on demand will definitely help you scale further when your company go bigger. And this is just very nice. Later on, I'll show you my Gumroad as well. Then some other examples, such as maybe Pori. So let's assume you make use of Airtable to manage your database. You need somewhere to display your data, like such as jobs. And Pori is actually designed for this purpose. So you can connect with your Airtable easily and display into like a job board, like a search directory, or even a marketplace. Again, without code. And it is just very easy to use and connect. And Pori has a lot of preview templates where you can just build a dashboard, build a directory easily. So some of the examples right here. Yep, you can connect. Nowadays, you can also connect with Google Sheets. I think this is something really new. Right here, you can build some examples suggested by Pori. You can build a community platform. You can build volunteers portal. You can build a partner platform. And the beauty is that you can connect different source of data from Airtable in one place. And remember, I showed you my Virtualmojito product. It's actually built with Pori as well. So just like how content writing jobs looks like, you can have something like a searchable database where you can display the look and feel, search by keywords, and filter by category easily without code. So hopefully you get a basic concept of how no-code tools can actually work and what are some of the examples available in the market. And last but not least, the one thing I really want to mention is you don't have to pay a lot to use these tools. And many tools, you can basically just use their basic plan or free plan and just create your very first version of your no-code product before you scale further. And today, before we wrap up, I have also prepared some live demo of what you can do with another no-code tool. And because mobile application is one of the hottest topic where people really want to think about ways to build native mobile application where they can use on their cell phone and eventually publish on marketplace for people on App Store or Google Play to download. And glideapps.com is one of the most famous no-code tool where you can build mobile applications. So today I'll be showing a quick example how you can use Glide to build a conference event application. So of course I'll be using the templates just to show you what are some of the typical functionalities looks like. And let me switch to my screen. Yes, right here. Okay. Okay, again, go to, if you want to give it a try, you can go to glideapps.com. This software operates in a very similar manner as Pori, where you can connect with data source such as Google Slides and eventually populate into an actual applications. So here is my dashboard. I'm going to just pick a template randomly to start with. There's a lot of preview templates where you can Kickstarter. So once you get an account, you can just come here and view all the templates provided by Glide. They have a lot of templates created by the Glide team, but also their users as well. So meaning that there's so many options you can just copy and just start straight away, such as company CRM applications, such as conference, such as a mobile store, or even an inventory. And this is the applications I'm going to show you how you can configure look and feel. So assume I have started the conference applications. Okay, it's loading. All right, right here, we are in the conference applications. Here is the dashboard where you can drag and drop and customize the look and feel. But the first thing I really want to show you is the data, which is the root of almost every applications and digital products. And there's two options where you can configure mobile application on Glide. You can either use your own Google Sheet, or you can use Glide Table, so their own spreadsheet system. And if we're talking about using your own Google Sheet, you just need to have the same look and feel like this with all the categories or the columns available to define the nature of this data. And of course, you need to separate your worksheets by different tabs to define the type of data. Such as if we're talking about events and conference, obviously you have sections, you have speakers, you have venues, you have time, maybe you have messaging features where you allow attendees to exchange connections. And this can be completely achieved with Glide. So let's assume you have all the data available. What you need to do is just pick the right look and feel and connect to the appropriate data source, such as sessions. And if you toggle different start right here, all your data will just automatically populate into another look and feel. You don't have to build from scratch, and everything are already designed for you. So right now we are in the calendar mode. For example, if we want to change to list mode, everything will be changed completely. And you can, of course, edit the detailed look and feel by configuring what you want to show from this row or from these images. You can always pick and choose from all your data source. So right now, I'm showing sections as the title. Maybe I want to show my speaker name instead. You can just pick your speaker. And all the title will eventually change into speaker. And likewise, you can also update your detail sections and things will change automatically. So that's how you can play around the data, how you map the data points. And of course, the application has multiple tabs, and each tabs are basically just like a folder of your spreadsheets. And it is really important for you to first configure and understand the data structure before you pull all the data right here. And you might wonder whether you can customize the color, the design of your application, and the answer is absolutely yes. With Glide, you can customize the color easily by just click, and you can change the theme as well. If you are a big fan of dark mode like myself, you can also achieve this in just one click, super easy. The other feature really important is that you can also configure your privacy, meaning that if you want to restrict who can sign in, log out, and access certain information of your applications, you can do this with Glide as well. And you can also monetize your application. Obviously, you can do like in-app purchase, you can sell stuff on your applications. And then, last but not least, before we move on, you can also preview your applications in different directions or even operation system. Right now, we are showing Apple. You can also see the look and feel of, let's say you're an Android user. This is how the look and feel looks like. And then when it is on horizontal basis, you can also preview right here. Everything can be done on Glide. Yes, this is the tablet mode. Yep. So that's how Glide looks like. Highly recommend to give a try, especially when you first started to think about, okay, my first NoCode project, I want to have a mobile app, and Glide is the go-to tool to start with. Great. I mentioned earlier some of my my project. So just want to give you some quick overview, real quick. Again, try to think about the contentwritingjobs.com perspective to think about what I do in terms of input, how I process information and output the look and feel right now. This website is built with card.co. And when I first launched my product, I have distributed it to product hunts. Surprisingly, I got first place of the day and third place of the week. And this is the major marketing channels which I got a lot of tractions. I mentioned earlier, it is really important for you to find a or to measure all the success of the links you distribute. What are the most highest performing channels? And I use Bitly a lot to keep track all the links. And to be frank, I haven't spent any marketing budget on all my side projects. And because it is a side project, it's really for fun, for my hobbies. I don't really push myself to the limit. Okay, I need to advertise on Facebook, on Google. I don't, because I really believe of the beauty of long tail marketing effect. Creating content is more sustainable for side project like mine. So you can see you're getting a lot of clicks and also purchases, which is really healthy. If you notice on my websites, I have a place where I display all the testimonials I have received from Twitter. And there's also a no-code tool allow you to do this, which is a testimonial.to. And you can basically just select the tweets or comments you have received from places like Twitter and LinkedIn and just displays in one simple dashboard. And you can customize the order, you can customize the look and feel, and super easily able to embed onto your website. So it's a really useful tool. In terms of payment, just like the example I showed you before, I am a Gumroad user as well. I manage all my product and purchases in one place and directly embed onto my website. When people click a button, they will be redirected to my Gumroad payment page. Let me show you. For example, this product, if you hit the button, you will be automatically directed to my Gumroad payment page. And pages like this, you can completely customize your own. You can display your product. You can display the number of steps, create more testimonials, and obviously you can also inject a lot of pictures to show all the details of your product to help people visualize before they swap their card. And another good thing about Gumroad is you can manage all your performance in one place, such as your sales data, such as your traffic performance, and you can quickly filter, segment, and see the trends easily in one place. Oops, when I say trends, I'm talking about here, like all the referring channels, like which are the most effective marketing channels for your product. And you can see all the clicks, all the number of sales and conversions, as well as the final payment is right here. Of course, I need to automate my operations. So I use Zapier to, I basically have one step only. Whenever people make a purchase on my illustrations projects, I will automatically subscribe and put all the customers into the same email pipeline. So I can trigger campaigns, newsletters, and updates easily. Another no-code tool I really want to mention is improvmx.com. So FYI, I don't pay anything for my custom email. So meaning that, as you can see, Felix at abstractlab.co, hi at abstractlab.co, or maybe marketing at abstractlab.co, I don't have to pay and this is completely contributed by improv.mx.com, where you forward and redirect your email address. And the beauty is I can reply and manage all my inbound emails by my Gmail only. So it's really useful, especially if you don't want to pay for services like Google Suite or maybe Soho Mail, and improvmx.com will help you solve all these customized email problems. So you can still on your website or on your contact us display a customized email. In terms of newsletters, I manage all my customers on emailoctopus.com. I'm sure you might realize there's a lot of alternatives in the market like MailChimp, MailerLite, but I still go for emailoctopus.com. It's because, first of all, the free tier is really aggressive. You don't have to pay any fee to host 2,500 subscribers. And I think most of the tools out there in the market usually around like 1,500 to 2,000, and email octopus has higher capacity. Secondly, it's super clean dashboard where you can create campaign automation, or you can even build your own landing pages and form and lead magnets on in one place easily. And last but not least, I use Hotjar to measure the performance of my website. So I know how to small changes and help customers get to our call to actions as possible. So I think that's it for the example Q&A with team. I'm sure a lot of you, especially newbies, NoCode so might be willing to find ways to learn more about the NoCode communities, understanding where to find the right tools and resources. And I highly recommend you can take a pictures, or maybe you can get examples, forums, communities, and websites where you can learn NoCode, understanding how other no-code makers build their products and businesses, and all these channels are completely useful for beginners and advanced no-code makers. So I think that's it for today on my side, and happy to take any questions, and let's hand over to Tim to kickstart our panel discussion.
Thank you, Felix. I'm sure some of you might have questions about no code and how it applies to your work, especially as a founder. So here's come the panel section. Let's welcome Tim, the founder of Growth Marketer Academy. And they will share their experience on using no-code tools in their business. So I'll pass the mic to Tim.
Yeah, while we're waiting for Tim, maybe I can pick a few questions.
Yes. Let's go ahead.
Okay, so this is a question from Gabby. Can we build an app and monetize in Google App Store or App Store with no-code tools? Absolutely, yes. And I suggest you take a look at Adelo. Adelo is the tool where I shared earlier, where the projects Munifest. And if you go on adelo.com, under the showcase or customer stories page, you can find a lot of examples of how people use Adelo to build mobile applications. So really easy to use tool, and a very similar concept as Glide, where you connect with a data source and you can eventually upload on Play Store or App Store. And then another question from Olivier. What are the no-code tool limitations for apps? Well, good questions. I think it really depends on which software you go for. There's over 10 or 20 options of no-code tool where you can build mobile applications. Adelo is one example. Glide is one example. And then there's a tool called Draftbit. And I would say there's a few limitations on, let's take Glide as an example. The look and feel, you cannot really customize 100%, meaning that they have a pre-built building blocks and like the position of different informations, and you just fit the data and change the colors and move some small things. But if you're talking about building a mobile app from scratch completely with everything based on your own design, you have to go for some more advanced no-code tools such as Dropbit, which I just dropped the name right here. Another limitation is that not all mobile application no-code tools allow you to upload your projects on App Store. So making sure you look into the price plan and function and features, and I'm sure they will let you know whether the tool allow you to do so. Another question from Joe. When should you use no-code tools versus when should you find software engineer to build? When you need a lot of customized features where you cannot really replicate by a simple database, then you might be reaching a tipping point where you need engineers to customize everything. So many no-code tools we've been sharing, they have already covered a lot of needs from the market. You can use no-code tools basically build companies like Uber, building an Paytable, building a delivery completely possible. And because all these business models are like more or less the same, and the monetization are more or less the same, so that's why software like Bubble can basically replicate this project immediately by using the templates. So if and only if you can think of some of the technical projects where you cannot replicate from things available in the market, then it might require a lot of customizations. But again, tools like Bubble and we share Builder Audio allow a lot of customization as well. You can also invite your engineers to play around Bubble and Builder to inject their own custom code and eventually make what you need. So for you don't have to manage with code, but you can still have your tech team or engineers play around this no-code tools and help you manage along the way easier. So hopefully I have addressed all your questions. Great. Is there any other questions and things you want to know more about no-code? Feel free to ask right here.
Seems like team's technical issue can't be solved. So sure. I have some of his questions that he wants to ask you. So maybe okay. I can pass it to you.
Let's do it.
So first one is, there are so many no-code tools, and how do you make the choice when you start a no-code project?
Okay. To be frank, whenever I build a side project, the first thing I think about is always no-code. Although I have some technical background, but because of the speed of delivery by building without code, you save a lot of time, you save a lot of unnecessary effort. So the way I go to no-code tools, just like what we share in the workshop just now, is really based on the functionalities and features I need. Then I think about whether I can use some of the available no-code tools, combine them, and eventually build the product I want. Some no-code tools out there can cover more than one features and more than one functionality. And it is always good to have some tool to cover more than one thing so that you can spend less time to connect each other. The other aspect I look for is always the price. So, I mean, so right now, I'm happy to let you know the cost I'm spending for all my projects. I'm only paying for my domain name and also the website builder, and I don't pay for anything else. So my monthly running cost is less than $20 for 4 projects, and most of the projects are monetizing itself. I'm still using most of the free prints of all the no-code tools, and it's still able to capture my needs and number of users, and I'm not paying extra dollar per day, because if I pay for a more premium no-code tools, doesn't mean I can scale my product immediately. So why bother to subscribe a premium plan?
Oh, great. And I understand you use no-code tools not only for your personal project, but also for your company. Can you share like 1 or 2 use cases which made a great impact for your company?
Sure. So I work full time in a Singaporean fintech company where everyone work remotely, and we are a team of 50 people. And in just marketing alone, we are close to 10%. And the funny thing is, most of the marketers in our team is very technical minded, meaning that we not only do marketing like social media ads, creating content, but we also know how to build websites. We know how to run experiments. So we use a lot of no-code tools to help us automate all these procedures, such as we use landing page builder like Unbounce to help us create many different variations of landing pages, so that we can do a lot of split tests on Facebook ad, Google ads, and we use Unbounce to create a limited time campaign as well. And we don't really need to request technical help from our tech team, and we can just completely build from start to finish with Unbounce. Another tool we use a lot is HubSpot. So obviously, HubSpot is a marketing suite, it's a CRM. But apart from managing contacts and also all these sales activities, we're also heavily using the workflow feature to help us automate processes, such as copying data, such as updating information, such as making dynamic building blocks on our websites. And we can, because of all these automations, we save a lot of time, and we don't need any technical support internally.
Ooh. One final questions.
Yes.
Our team GMA actually use many low-code tools such as Webflow, Zapier, Paytable, something like that. So how do you encourage your teammates to use these tools together?
Well, it is a tough question, because first of all, I believe that the concept of no code is still pretty new in Asia. I think I am the one of the person where in our team where I talk a lot about all these no code projects, no code examples all the time. Even though when we're working having 10 minutes, I say, hey, I come across something interesting, maybe we should try. And a lot of teammates in our team, they always get excited, because whenever we implement a new tools, not only we want to try something, but we really want to see an opportunity how we can improve our efficiency and effectiveness, of course saving costs as well. So we're pretty open to try new tools, and or maybe try new features of tools we're using. So some other examples could be we're also discovering ways to build our own internal tools, and where we can automate our request system. When I say request system, meaning that, okay, I need something from my content writer. How can we make sure we keep track on the progress? How can we ensure we transfer information effectively? Frankly speaking, most of the productivity tools can be achieved, but what makes us even more excited is, can we build our own internal system as well to manage all our internal activities? And there's obviously tools out there where you can make this possible. We're not at that stage yet, but I would recommend you take a look at internal.io. What else? There's also a tool called Retool where you can build your own internal system.
Wow.
Yep.
Thank you, Felix.
So, no problem.
Yes, I saw some new questions from the Q&A box.
Yep, sure. Happy to take it.
Olivia.
Yep. Okay, cool. Are there any limitation with NoCode tools to integrate live data? For example, I want to integrate stock prices. Okay. Maybe I'm not the right person to address this question because I don't really play around stock, but I'm aware of a lot of NoCode tools actually allow you to do this because there's some great examples of people leveraging NoCode tools to build their investment related applications with NoCode, also related to stock. So I would recommend you take a look at maybe first of all Bubble completely. You can connect with almost any API and just pull all the data available and display in a nice way. Some other tools you might be willing to play around, such as Row. Let me double check if this is the right name. Rows with an S. So Rows is the next generations of spreadsheet tool where you can connect a lot of data sources and build your own little tools or software easily. This is just very nice. Give it a try. Other than that, there's a tool called Obviously AI. It's a no-code tool where you can pull and plug many different data sources, including stock, I expect, and build your own machine learning and AI tool without code. And everything is just drag and drop, and you can make predictive analysis and machine learning algorithms, trends, regressions pretty easily. I think there's another questions from you as well. What is limiting you from taking your side hustle to the next level? Good questions, and I got these questions from time to time. Because first of all, I pretty enjoy my full-time role. Secondly, I try not to push myself to the limit or stretching myself to convert my side project into a full business, because it is, to me, it's a hobby. To me, it's something I'm still learning. To me, it's still something where I want to do in my free time. I have think about turning some of my projects into a full business, but at the end of the day, if I turn maybe one of my projects into a full business, I might have a very different perspective of running the projects. Maybe I will have an even more aggressive goal, which is good, but I just don't want to stress myself. I just want to have something where I can keep motivating my own entrepreneurship mindset, have something right where I can make all the control in my free time, and just making a small revenue just to incentivize myself. Okay, this is what I can get in my free time. Try to scale a little, bit by bit, but not to push myself into a full limit. I have experience starting my own business 7 years ago, so I understand the beauty and the feeling of being my own boss. But still, when I compare my life having a nice full-time job first, and at the same time running a few side projects in my free time, I see a good balance right here. So that's why I decided to follow this capacity, at least at this stage.
Any questions from audience side? If no, there's one more poll that I would like to add into this section. And I'm curious if GMA is going to launch a no-code bootcamp so you can build products with structured guidance. Will you guys consider to enroll? Can you guys go to the poll function and simply click on a button so we can see how you guys think?
Great. Thank you so much for your participation.
I see most of you are interested.
Nice. And by the way, if you either pick yes or neutral, I'm curious to know what do you want to build with our code. So we get more understanding of how we can eventually create a full curriculum. Yeah, would be great. Would be interested to know what actually do you need based on no-code tools.
Yes, you can simply type it in the chat box. Thank you, Felix, for sharing
No
the
problem.
secrets of creating profitable tech products without using any code. And I'm sure your sharing have given all of us food for thought. So thank you very much for insightful and wonderful talk. I know many of you may want to have a copy of Felix webinar slides. So don't worry if you have registered for today's event. You will soon be receiving an email from GMA inviting you to fill in a simple survey. Just spend 1 to 2 minutes completing the survey and you will receive today's slides. A small reminder, don't forget to check your promotional or spam inbox in case they just went there. And thank you for joining us today. And here comes the giveaway. We've prepared the low-code toolkit that Felix recommended. If you want to get this very helpful kit, please scan the QR code here, or you can simply go to our Facebook page, find the post with toolkit giveaway, and kindly follow the instructions and tag one friend, and you are all set. You will get your toolkit in your mailbox after confirming your email address in the Facebook Messenger. The 2021 Marketing Playbook series has come to an end. Thank you all for joining. If you're passionate about different marketing tips and would like to learn more about from different field of digital experts, our next webinar is for you. Our next webinar will take place on 1st of December. It will be conducted in Cantonese only. And our speaker, Philip Chow, will more than 15 years experience in the digital innovation, performance marketing, and advanced analytics, is going to share his practical tips on building an actionable plan and budget based on a solid growth marketing strategy foundation. Planning and budgeting is very important for marketers, especially if you have been in the marketing field for a few years. So don't miss the chance to learn. And if you are an experienced marketer with over 5 years experience who wish to move to senior management, or a business owner who aspires to drive company growth by MarTech, our upcoming course is also for you. Growth hacking and digital marketing is currently recruiting, and Philip will be our course trainer. In this 5-week course, you will be able to formulate marketing strategy, set budget and marketing plan with proven templates and checklists. You will also have to prepare a pitch to the CEO after your project. So if any of you are interested in our course, just scan the QR code to know more. And GMA is also planning to launch several courses in Hong Kong next year, like SEO Bootcamp in the late January, Growth Marketing Bootcamp, and E-commerce Growth Bootcamp in February. So if you are interested, please keep an eye on our Facebook page and website. Last but not least, let's give Felix some thank you messages in the chat box to thank him for his awesome and wonderful sharing. Thank you, Felix, for your insightful talk, and thanks again. Thank you very much for joining us today. We will see you very soon.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.